This Somvar, let us listen to the inspiring story of Karaikal Ammaiyar, one of the greatest devotees of Bhagwan Shiva. Karaikal is a busy port town in Tamil Nadu that exists even today. During the reign of the mighty Cholas, it was a thriving center of trade filled with prosperous merchants from many lands. Among them lived a wealthy merchant named Dhanadutan. He was deeply devoted and a very big worshipper of Bhagwan Shiva. By the grace of Bhagwan, he and his wife were blessed with a beautiful baby girl. They named her Punitavathi. From the day she was born, prosperity filled their home. Being their only child, Punitavathi was raised with immense love and care. Her parents performed all the prescribed samskaras, gave her a fine education, and taught her everything she needed to manage a household. But even as a little girl, Punitavati's heart belonged to Bhagwan Shiva. As she grew older, her devotion only deepened. She spent her days serving Bhagwan and caring for his devotees, the Adiyars. She eagerly studied the sacred scriptures, and with every passing year, she became wiser, gentler, and more compassionate. Her selfless service and unwavering devotion seemed to shine through her. She possessed not only extraordinary beauty, but also a timeless grace that came from within. Very soon, word of Punitavati's beauty, wisdom, and noble character spread far and wide. Eventually, it reached the prosperous town of Nagapattinam. There lived another wealthy merchant in Nagapattinam with a son named Paramadutan. Hearing about Punitavati, the family travelled to Karaikal to seek her hand in marriage. After discussions between the elders of both the families, the alliance was happily agreed upon, an auspicious day was chosen, and the wedding was celebrated with great joy. Dhanadutan loved his daughter dearly and could not bear the thought of sending her away so far. So he requested that his new son in law remain in Karaikal after the wedding. He generously gifted the young couple a beautiful home, wealth, and everything they would need to begin their married life. With the blessings of both families, Punitavati and Paramadutan settled in Karaikal. The young couple lived peacefully. Paramadutan's business flourished, while Punitavati continued to devote herself to Bhagwan Shiva and lovingly served his devotees whenever they came to her home. One day in the summer, Paramadutan had a visitor who gifted him two delicious looking golden mangoes. Little did anyone know that this simple gift of two mangoes would soon change the course of all of their lives. Paramadutan sent these mangoes home and told his wife to serve it to him with lunch. While Punitavati was cooking lunch, an Adiyar came and asked for food. Lunch was not ready yet. She only had cooked rice with her. So she offered the rice and one mango. The Adiyar happily ate his lunch and he left. Paramadutan came home and Punitavati cut the second mango and served it along with a very delicious lunch. But the mango was so delicious and juicy that Paramadutan asked for the other mango. Now Punitavati was in a fix. How could she tell her husband that she had donated one of the mangoes to an Adiyar? Would he understand? Would he get angry? Not wanting to disappoint or anger her husband, Punitavati prayed to Bhagwan for help. Immediately, a mango fell in her hands. Happily, she cut that mango and offered it to her husband. While eating it, Paramadutan realized that this mango was very different from the mango that he first had. Puzzled, he asked Punitavati the reason. Confused and overwhelmed with guilt, Punitavati immediately confessed to everything. Shocked, Paramadutan refused to believe her when she said that Bhagwan had helped her. To prove it, he asked Punitavati to ask for one more mango. So Punitavati went inside and prayed again to Bhagwan. She came out with a mango. Paramadutan was stunned. This wife of his was no ordinary woman. She was blessed by Bhagwan himself. She was a saint. From that day on, Paramadutan could not look at Punitavati as his wife. He treated her with deep respect and kindness, but he never looked at her as his wife again. Punitavati was puzzled with this change in his behavior, but she did not think too deeply on it. She just ignored it. Soon, Paramadutan became restless and uncomfortable in his own home. He sought out various business ventures overseas and, with permission from all the elders, left Karaikal to travel. He soon settled in Madurai and he prospered there. The merchants of Madurai liked him a lot, but unaware of his past, urged him to settle down in the city and marry. Agreeing to this, he married a second time, and after a couple of years, he had a daughter, who he named Punitavathi, out of deep respect for his wife. Meanwhile, Punitavati's family heard that Paramadutan had settled in Madurai and was prospering there. So, along with Punitavati, they set out to Madurai. When they reached there, Paramadutan heard about their arrival, and immediately he took his second wife and daughter and rushed to their place. He fell at the feet of Punitavati and sought her blessings from him and his family. He presented his daughter to her. Beautiful Punitavati was stunned. She was filled with fear at his behavior and she moved more closer to her relatives. Her husband, her protector, her partner for life, was treating her like this, like giving respect that is given to elders and saints. How could this be? When Paramadutan explained what had happened after the mango incident and how she was too pure and divine to be his wife, Punitavati was filled with agony. She turned to her Bhagwan and said, if this beauty that was meant for her husband alone to appreciate and enjoy is making him feel like this, then I don't want this beauty. Please take it away and make my body into bones and flesh. That's it. The moment she uttered this prayer, in front of all of her people, all of her family gathered, the extraordinary, beautiful Punitavati turned into a ghastly, skeletal-looking person. Everyone fled from that place in fear and abandoned Punitavati. Not bothered by this, Punitavati shed all her attachments with society and with her family and became a wandering saint. Singing and dancing songs of Bhagwan Shiva, she wandered till she reached Kailasha, the land of her Bhagwan. But how could she step foot on such sacred land? Not wanting to disturb the purity of the land with the impurity of the dust on her feet, she started walking on her hands and her feet up in the air, and in this manner she climbed the Kailasha mountain. When Ma Parvati saw this being walking on her hands, she turned to Bhagwan and said, who is this ghastly looking person and why are they coming up in this manner? That time Bhagwan Shiva told Parvati, this Amma, this mother is a great devotee and has come to meet us. He greeted Punitavati and addressed her as Ammaiyar. In response, Punitavati addressed Bhagwan as Appa, father. Punitavati asked for a boon to Bhagwan Shiva, that she has to have undying love for Bhagwan Shiva and she would never be born again. But if she has to be born, then she should never forget Bhagwan in her life. She also asked to sing and praise Bhagwan wherever he dances. So Bhagwan asked her to go to Tiruvalangadu in Palayanur. Punitavati thanked him and walked back on her hands all the way to Tiruvalangadu. And there she sang two famous Tirupathigams. And from then on, she was known as Karaikal Ammaiyar. Researchers attribute the revival of Shaivism in Tamil Nadu to Ammaiyar much before Appar and Sundaranar.